How's it going? I hope everyone is doing all right. So we are going to continue on with the April readings. So I've kind of switched up the camera a little bit to try to get more in view of when I'm casting them, and then later, still we'll get up close in detail to the bones and charms once they're cast and on the mat here that I'm going to use this time. So yes, everyone is welcome. So this is going to be a reading for both Gemini and Cancer. And after the live is done, I will be providing timestamps for both, for some people who just want Cancer or some people who just want Gemini, and all that good stuff. So before we get started, I just want to make sure that we're good on sound, and then we'll get started. Okay, so sound looks like it's pretty good. Um, and I'm gonna have my background little music, like I always do, just to keep the animals as calm as possible, and just for a little background noise for me as well. All right, so before we go ahead and get into Gemini first for April, I do want to do a quick sound bell to just kind of ground ourselves, take a couple of deep breaths if we feel guided at this time. And it's a good place for me to check in with my guides, to make sure that I am delivering the messages as clearly as possible to you guys as well. All right, so it's going to be loud for a few moments, but if you're sensitive, just turn it down a little bit. Otherwise, it won't be forever. Okay. All right. So, guys, this is going to be for Gemini for April 2024. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna put this on the side here. And for you guys that are new, welcome. If you guys are returning, welcome back, of course. But when I'm shaking the bones on the charms, it is going to make a little bit of noise as well. So just bear with me. It's my way of shuffling, okay? All right. So thank you, spirits, and love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Thank you for listening. Messages for Gemini, air sign Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest good? Messages for Gemini, air sign Gemini, for their highest good for April 2024. Messages for Gemini. Okay, just a little bit more. Spirit, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. Messages for Gemini, air sign Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. Messages for Gemini. Messages for Gemini, air sign Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. Messages for Gemini. Messages for Gemini. Air sign Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. Messages for Gemini. Messages for Gemini. Messages for Gemini, the twins, for April 2024. Messages for Gemini. All right. So let me just turn this down a little bit. So I've decided, like I said before, to use the mat just for fun this time. You don't have to use a casting mat if you're doing bones or charms or casting anything. But I just decided to because it is a good visual for you guys as well to kind of like see what's going on. And it helps more when I'm taking the photo that I will be uploading later as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip over a couple of the charms that aren't disturbing anything else too much. So when I again take the picture, you guys can see what it is. I pretty much already know, but again, it's just more of like a visual thing. Now, there are a few things here that went outside the mat, so I'll include that in the picture, of course. But we'll talk about like what that means and that kind of stuff too. So just bear with me for a moment while I flip some of these over. Some of them are too close together with the other ones, so I don't necessarily feel comfortable moving them because then it'll shift everything. So I can move some of them over as we go through the reading. But yeah, let me go ahead and take the picture since we're talking about the picture. Let me go ahead and do that now before I forget. So I just put the picture on my Facebook after the reading is done, after both Gemini and Cancer are going to be done. And it's free and it's just on there if people want to see it more up close in detail or look at it again at any point. So I'm going to try to just move some of these over a little bit, still where they pretty much fell, but I have a lot of my own crystals here on the side, so I don't necessarily want that in the picture, but I guess I'll just move them. Hold on. Because I don't want it to like be confusing for people. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. All right. Okay, let me make sure some focus. Yep, okay. Looks good. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is, before I take the camera off of where it is right now and bring it closer for you guys to see the bones and charms up close in detail, I kind of want to see, where Spirit wants this reading to be started because every reading it's going to be a little different. So I usually kind of just hover my hands over and see, where I have that energy drawing me the most. All right, so just bear with me for a moment, guys. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Spirits, guide my hands. Yeah, it's like right here, so it's pretty much like in the center, kind of where the lucky rabbit's foot is in the center part here. So that is where we will start. Okay, Gemini. Again, this reading could be about you. It could be someone you're dealing with, multiple people you're dealing with, your general environment situation. So always keep that in mind. Again, everyone is welcome wherever you may have Gemini and Cancer in your individual birth chart. All right. Okay. So yeah, let me take the camera off though so you can see a little better what we're looking at here. So hold on. Okay. Here we go. Once it comes around this part and hopefully focus better. Okay. So I'll try to be as still as I can with one hand with the camera and one hand with the pen here to point out stuff. But again, there's different quadrants here on the mat. So you've got relationships and love, all types of relationships, platonic, self-love, etc. You've got work and money over here. You've got spiritual and unconscious here, and then you've got the body and mental over here. So again, they wanted Gemini, your reading, to kind of start more here in the center. So I'm going to try to come closer as well, and hopefully in a second it will focus pretty good. But yeah, we see right here, like almost exactly on center, we have, of course, the big green lucky rabbit's foot. Okay. So this is really beautiful, Gemini. This was also, I think, an Aries reading. They had a lot of like the lucky's rabbit's foot was like a little bit more in center here, I think, for theirs. But what I see as far as where it's landing, it's pretty much landing in two different quadrants. So you're going to have a lot of luck, let's say, for some of you guys in relationships and love and body and mental, okay, throughout, excuse me, the month of April here, because the quadrant lines kind of go right here. So it's not really too much in the other ones. I mean, maybe like slightly, but I would say majority of it, the quadrant line is like that, okay? But it is touching a lot of other things here, and there's probably stuff underneath it. So kind of let's see, where it wants to go, where spirit wants to go here. But the first thing that I see here, Gemini, is you do have the snake vertebrae coming down this way, laying on top of the lucky rabbit's foot. You've got the dog ankle bone right here. You've got two human teeth here. You got the symbol for Saturn. You've got the end piece of, I'm pretty sure that's the lizard. Okay. We'll double check in a minute. You've got the snake vertebrae right here. You got the symbol for Pisces. You've got the puzzle piece. You've got the star. And you've got the fish that I can see over here too. I'm like, I want to move it and see if there's anything underneath it, but I also don't want to do that yet. So let's just talk about some of the stuff that we can see first here, Gemini. So there could be, a lot of interplay this month between, the spiritual and the unconscious quadrant over here, and then also the relationships and love quadrant here, okay? Because I say that because the snake vertebrae goes from the unconscious and spiritual into and pointing to the relationships and love. So there could be a lot of like constriction, but also needing to breathe and to see like how those things maybe interplay with each other. I do see that there could be on someone's part or multiple people's part or the general environment situation, thinking a lot about luck. Okay, when we have the human teeth bone together here, two different ones, it's like chewing over and digesting. How can I bring in more healing with the lizard underneath, and how can I bring in more good luck? Okay. There also seems like there could be a lot of support within that. And that's whatever your support system is, friends, family, mental health care worker, lovers, lover, etc. Whatever it is, there could be support there. And it could be either with a Pisces or something about Pisces in your chart or their chart, or Pisces season of this year, of last year, next year, etc. Or nothing at all to do with the zodiac or astrology side of Pisces, but just leaning into this water element and learning to go with the flow more about maybe how the support comes in. So if there is support, maybe not trying to control it or constrict it as much, and learning to have with the dog ankle bone over here more flexibility, because the more flexible you are, and it could also be with money and work, because it's laying in the money and work quadrant, this dog ankle bone, but it's touching everything else. That's why we're talking about it here too. That the more flexible you are with money or with work, that's going to bring in more healing in the relationships and love area, platonic relationships as well, and self-love and all the things. But yeah, I feel that there could also be something that started here during Pisces season here for you, within the spiritual and the unconscious quadrant again, that maybe was helping you. And I'm going to move some of these over so we can see what's underneath. But maybe it was helping you, and I'll put them up over here to remember to put them back. But yeah, that's your Pisces. Something that started during Pisces season, perhaps, that was helping you focus on your happiness, and bring different things together as far as what you're dreaming for, like where you find your freedom, okay, and how also that maybe relates to any type of challenges, okay, because here we see the dragonfly. We've got the Pegasus, the winged horse, and we have the symbol I just flipped over is for the mountains, okay? And so that can be challenges. So there could be also here subconsciously or spiritually here, Gemini, maybe somebody is wanting to have more freedom within either some type of role that they play, or they're with their confidence, and maybe it has nothing to do with work or anything like that because it's not in that quadrant, but more in like the spiritual unconscious realm of like being a leader or having some type of level of confidence here. Perhaps there's wanting to be more freedom around that, because there's been, some more spiritual subconscious challenges maybe in the past or the recent past here. Now I also see here, Gemini, with part of the raccoon penis bone here, going down into the body mental that we'll get into later, but here it's also in the spiritual unconscious quadrant. It's laying on top of the scissors, like really clearly here. So there could be some masculine energy that needs to be cut out here. We're not talking about gender, right? We're not saying it's necessarily a man, but it could also be, as a stereotype of masculine energy, something within the 3D physical world, or more like if it's extra masculine, maybe it's too aggressive or something, but there's definitely, it could have something to do with a family member here, Gemini, because we do have the seahorse here. I'm just going to flip it over so you can see it a little better. It was like slightly laying on top of it, so it could be a masculine person, a person that displays a lot of masculine energy within the family. And what is family? It could be more than blood relatives and people like that, but it is whatever you consider family here. And this could be a little bit of stagnant energy here when it's really close to the lock too. But I feel like this could be, again, because it's spiritual and subconscious, it could be more in the past or even past lives, right? It could be a little bit different for everybody. I'm going to just flip over the frog here so you can see the frog. We also have the ship anchor, and then really tiny, we've got the strawberries. It's going to mess everything up, but that's okay. No, it won't. Come back. Anyway, so with the strawberry here, though, it was like sitting on top of the skeleton hand here, and it was touching the fork as well. There could be some details that are, part like spiritual unconscious, okay, for you or for someone else, or the multiple people general environment situation, but it also could be some kind of details that also cross over into the body and mental quadrant as well. But this could have something to do with your spiritual team. This is like passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, what have you. They could be wanting you to focus on these details to bring in more balance, and they could be saying also to look at your diet. So it could be your physical diet, it could be your mental diet, it could be, what did I say, physical, spiritual, mental, yeah, it could be one of those things or all of those things, but it it all kind of comes together with something about these details, and your spiritual team wanting to bring more balance into your life. I think that maybe in the past there was maybe someone that had passed away, or maybe it's someone you've never even actually met, but they're on the spiritual side, they're on the spirit realm, on the other, they're through the veil on the other side, right? There could have been some type of letter, message, document from them to you, or from you to them, vice versa, etc. But I feel like whatever this was, it could have brought, a lot of questions out, and maybe less answers but more questions. This could have been something here, Gemini, that relates to, again, the body and the mental. So going back to the fork and the diet, and what is my spiritual diet, my mental diet, my physical diet? What am I digesting and taking part of? Okay, so it's definitely something to think about, and it's interesting that the fork fell in this quadrant. So when I'm casting, I have my eyes closed, if you saw that part. So I don't know where things are going to land, but there could have also been something going on here, Gemini, because it's going between these two quadrants, with the elephant like right on the line here of the dotted part, the dotted line that separates the quadrants. Something to do with memory here, and ideas of memory, and like what that could mean for us. Or what that can mean for you, but it's like there's a memory here of having freedom but also security with the ship anchor, right? So dropping our anchor when we need to stop and feel safe, and lifting it when we can go. Now, it could have also had something to do, Gemini, with individual power, with the B over here, okay? Just flipping it over so you can see it. And so the bee serves the queen, but on its own, it also is very powerful. And it's if each individual bee wasn't making its effort, then the queen wouldn't get what she needs, right? So it's like something, it's my symbol for like individual power as well, because I have this thing with bees. But because it's also over here next to the turtle, Gemini, could be talking about slowing down. And if we have a ship anchor, and we have the ability to slow down, that kind of makes sense here. Now, we didn't talk about the frog yet, that was right in the middle here. So there could be, like, once this this masculine energy within the family, from whoever it's from, is cut away in some way, and the stagnant energy that's attached to it is cut away, then we have space to have some type of leap of faith. And it almost looks like the frog is reaching out for the strawberries. So the leap of faith is like, you don't know the details, but you'll know it after you make that leap of faith. That's why it's called a leap of faith, because we don't know everything that's going to happen, right? Now, this could be something that you have been wanting for a long time. This leap of faith here, Gemini, could have something again to do with health, because it lands in the body and mental quadrant of your reading, and is right next to the fork as well. But I feel that if there was, let me go this way, a lot of hard work and working with a teacher or mentor, a spirit or spiritual guru, guide, etc., that homework that was done, shadow work, that was done in the spiritual unconscious, it like paves the way for then, the more body and mental healing to come in here, and striving for those things. Now, with the listening bells here, Gemini, you could hear something throughout the month of April, or you could be telling someone else something throughout the month of April about this striving here. But again, if we go from the first raccoon penis bone in the reading that we've been talking about, and it goes all the way down here through your quadrants. You got another symbol here for masculine energy. Now you also have, the irresponsibility coin, okay, and the no coin sitting on top of that. I'm just pulling it out so you can see what it says there. So it says irresponsibility, right? And so because this is in this quadrant, it could be that in the past, in the recent past, in some way here, Gemini, someone or something was maybe they were irresponsible with their body or with their mental health. It could be because someone or something came in here and said no, or the no could also be your spiritual team coming on top of it and saying, don't be irresponsible with your body and with your mental health, right? So it's a couple different ways that you can look at it. But over here to see like what kind of fell outside of the quadrant here too. This is one of our seashells, the cowrie shell. We got the hummingbird, and we have the coyote penis bone over here. So it could be that in the recent past, and what is recent, it could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. for you or someone else or the general environment, that perhaps somebody wasn't listening, not only to themselves, but like to their spiritual team here, okay? Because you have the hummingbird all the way out of the quadrant, and also the shell. So the hummingbird is another symbol for me for individual power, but it's also about ego and not caring what other people think in terms of, okay, I know that I was born to do this thing, or I'm good at this thing, I'm naturally good at it, and not necessarily caring what other people think. So because the hummingbird flies backwards, I always joke around that maybe during evolution, the other birds, when hummingbird first came on the scene, first started doing that, they were like, what's wrong with this bird? Why is he flying backwards? He must be not right. But they didn't realize that then he's like one of the fastest birds. So it's like not caring about necessarily what other people think, but doing what you're naturally good at. So it could be that in the recent past here, Gemini, maybe you weren't listening to this, or somebody else wasn't. And it could have been something to do with planting seeds for the future, to have a healthier body, to have a healthier mind, right? So a lot of times, the penis bones, whether it's raccoon or coyote like it is here, it represents masculine energy, but it's also a metaphor for planting seeds, for the future. So again, this could be more past stuff, but we all have, stuff we have to work on. That's just the way things are, right? So I wouldn't worry too much about this part, Gemini, because it feels more past. But if we focus more back up here, where we just keep clearing any of this overly aggressive or masculine energy or irresponsibility with the body or with the mental health, it could be from a family member or within the family. The more that we keep clearing that and just trying to balance it with the yin yang, then I think you or they or them or everyone will be kind of in better shape. Okay, but let's keep going because we have lots of stuff to talk about here, even all the other stuff that fell out. Okay, but I did want to put these back in the center here, since we already talked about them where they fell. Okay, so going back this way, right, we just kind of talked about this. On the other side here, again, in the spiritual unconscious quadrant, Gemini, we had the witch, we have the symbol for Libra, or the balance scales, justice, we have the rope underneath it, we've got the leaf over here, we've got the 4-leaf clover, and we have Cupid. Okay, so this could also be saying here, Gemini, that there is a friend. The witch symbol for me represents friend. So there could be a friend, a real friend that's physically alive, a passed on friend, etc. But they really probably want to help you here with bringing something into balance or something to do possibly for a small few, like a court case or something like that, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be, you know, the general themes of balance and justice, okay? But because underneath it was the rope, it's like new beginnings, endings and new beginnings because of this balance, because of all this clearing. This could have started maybe even last fall, or it's going to like culminate fully this upcoming fall, depending on where you are in the world and when you have fall season. But it doesn't have to be just fall season. It could just be, again, the clearing metaphor for getting rid of the dead leaves so then the new leaves can grow. But I like this here for you, Gemini, and having that friend around to help with this as well is really beautiful. On the other side of it, too, with this ending and new beginning, it could be during Libra season or with a Libra, or has nothing to do with Libra. But there's all this good luck around it as well with the 4-leaf clover. Now we also had the Cupid was really close to it, if not already touching. So this is my symbol for romantic love, but it doesn't have to be just romantic love. It could also be platonic love or self-love. It just depends for everyone since it is a general reading, right? But it's like pointing up this way, almost like out of the quadrant. And we do have, you know, quite a few things that fell out, okay, like within this quadrant here. So first thing that I see is like transformation over here with the butterfly, Gemini. Okay, I see your nutmeg is over here. This can represent money or abundance, whatever it is we want to manifest in our life. We've got the cloud here. We have the symbol for Sagittarius, or the bow and the archer. And we also have the spider web is kind of half almost out of the quadrant too. Or not the quadrant, but the mat. It's still in the quadrant. Okay. So here, Gemini, there could be, you know, clearing away anything that didn't make sense with the clouds. It could be that there was something like in the past that had to do with a Sagittarius or during Sagittarius season, or doesn't have to be. Could also be just, again, like what are we striving for and what are we pulling the arrow back and hitting. So it could just be our goals, plans, aspirations for the future. So clearing the clouds away from that is happening and is part of the transformation here. I do feel like there is some type of spiritual or unconscious knowledge that can perhaps come to you throughout the month of April here, Gemini, with the book charm and the angel coin. Lots of new ideas coming in as well. And these new ideas could be something that you've been thinking about for quite some time, because it goes from one of the skulls here to the human teeth bone and then to the lightning bolts. Okay, now behind the human teeth bone here is the chair, and the chair is resting up against the second raccoon penis bone. So this could have something to do with the spiritual knowledge that comes in that makes you or someone else or everybody think about their environment. With the spider web, part of our environment, you know, would be our home and our house, with the chair here as well. Okay, so it could be like having new ideas about the home or within the home, and how we can maybe manifest that in the 3D physical world with this second raccoon penis bone. So the masculine energy coming in and planting seeds for the future. So this masculine energy also goes from the spiritual side to then the work and money quadrant. So yeah, if we have new ideas within the home or about our environment and our transformation and our plans, goals, and aspirations for the future, then it would make sense that we do need the money to do those things as well, and also the work, right? So that kind of makes sense as well. Let me just flip this over here. So this is the second skull. It's kind of hard to. Okay, hold on. Not that it matters, but I'm like, the bicycle was like that. Okay. Um, so here, Gemini, we got another skull. So anytime we have a skull or a cranium, that can tell us where someone's head is at, what they've been thinking about, or um, having on their mind, right? There could be something about travel with the bicycle here. It could also be and or dealing with vehicles, modes of transportation. So an actual bike, a car, a scooter, whatever it is, however you get around, that could be also like on your mind, or your commute to work, or how you use the money, or the money that you get to do anything with those modes of transportation or and or travel. um, I do see here too, Gemini, that there is a lot of luck. I said again in the beginning of your reading, a lot of luck in the relationships and love area, and in the body and mental. But we also see this is the alligator hand or claw. So sometimes if you use this in like a mojo bag or carry it on you, it's good for gambling and for money. But when we use it in the reading, it can also be for striving for something. So it could be that in some way throughout the month here, Gemini, you or someone else is like striving for some type of emotional fulfillment and a peaceful energy at work and when getting money. Okay, because you got the cup over here, you got another coyote penis bone here, you have the doves right over here, and then this is so beautiful, Gemini. You've got the buckeye right on the money word. Okay, so compared to the nutmeg that's over here, the buckeye is a lot bigger. It can represent bigger forms of money and or abundance, whatever it is that you want to manifest excuse me, in your life. So I feel that there is, a lot of striving for these things and possibly tapping into the Saturn energy. So this is really important, right, too, because on the other side of this second raccoon penis bone, we have the symbol for Saturn. And throughout the whole year, for everyone, for 2024, there's a lot of things happening with the astrology with Saturn. So, Saturn, Father Time, is that more responsible, stern kind of energy. It's getting organized, it's paying bills, it's all these things. So, it makes sense that it would fall, in that work money quadrant, and be on the other side too of where your head is at and trying to get some new ideas about a home or within the home on the more spiritual unconscious side. But then here it's like, how can I make travel, my commute easier? How can I lean into this responsibilities organization? How can I be more emotionally happy at work or with the money, and have again a more peaceful energy with the peace doves there too. I do see here as well, Gemini, that there could be something that happens that makes you really happy throughout the month of April in regards to work or money, because you have the turkey wishbone still in this quadrant. It's half on the mat, but we have your North Star inside of it, okay? And then that's just one of my crystals. But really, beautiful here. Again, another penis bone here. So it's like striving for all these things. Coyote claw, striving for all these things, and something possibly going to make you really happy here. Now, if there is something on the table here, Gemini, as far as not just modes of transfer, I can't talk, not just modes of transportation, but all the travel energy that we were talking about, right? There could be something that you're not seeing here, or someone else isn't seeing here, as far as travel, or a body of water, or something to do with going over or traveling over water. So just kind of be aware of that. I never like to make people feel fearful or worried or stressed out, but it is showing up there. It could be something really easy, like the travel doesn't happen when you want it to, because right, we're in if the travel's happening, from now until April 25th, we've got Mercury retrograde. So there's going to be miscommunications and slowdowns possibly with travel. So that could be something that it's saying there too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something scary. It could be something frustrating more, or just a more slowed down energy. Okay. But it's going to be different for everybody because, again, it's a general reading. Now, if we go on this side here, on the other side of that alligator claw, we have the mermaid. So, the mermaid can talk about longing for something for a long time. So, longing for more money, more easier, peaceful work with the money, emotional satisfaction within work and money and transportation or commutes or something here. But on the other side, we have, again, on the other side of this skull, you've got your horseshoe, and inside the horseshoe is the ladybug. So, again, thinking about luck, good luck, right? And also answers coming in. Okay, it could be that answers are finally starting to come in here in some way, Gemini, from all of the spiritual unconscious quadrant, and all the thinking about the new ideas and all of this. Because the tooth is on this side, but then it goes over here into the work and money quadrant with the answers. So there could also be something really beautiful happening this month here, Gemini, where there is more safety within a team, or there's more safety, not necessarily within a team, but working. I don't know. There's something about safety and teamwork here, because the safety pin is lying on top of the bat. So bats use echolocation and communicate with each other in the cave, because they're blind, but they use sound. So it could have something to do with some type of answers come through, or some type of safety energy comes through, through some type of vibrations. It could have something to do with a Leo, but it doesn't have to, because we have Leo the lion over here. Or it could have something to be like it doesn't finalize completely until Leo season of this year, or something about Leo in your chart or someone else's chart, or it has nothing to do with Leo at all, but it's just the general kind of characteristics of having more courage and passion and creativity. And maybe the vibration is like, learning to make the lions roar within the work and the money situation. But maybe it's not like a super loud roar, but it's just displaying some type of form of strength, if that makes sense. Okay, because again, you've got emotions on both sides here. You've got the cup, and then you have the other symbol for water here. So a lot of times, of course, we're going to have emotions within the work and money situations, but most people think like, oh, that's not professional, I can't do that. But it could be more emotional satisfaction within those two areas. Okay. This is beautiful. Look at this though, Gemini, right? So you've got the money bags is falling in the money quadrant. Okay. And it could have something to do with some feminine energy here. Then on the other side, you've got the handcuffs. Okay. Talking about freedom. So it could be that there's something else going on here, Gemini, within the month of April and beyond, possibly, that is something directly related to your environment and having more freedom and having the money to be more free, and having maybe something to do with either a female or someone who displays a lot of feminine energy. But I like that part for you because it also, half falls, the spider and the feminine energy half falls into the spiritual unconscious quadrant. So I feel like that's more beneficial than anything. So that's really nice. Now, I feel like there's also something under the coin here that I forgot to check. Yes, there is. So if we just move the angel coin over here out of the way, so we can see that there's another honeybee here underneath that coin in the in the spiritual unconscious quadrant. So the honeybee can represent our individual power. So it's like your spiritual team here, Gemini, again, is like blessing the more that you tap into your individual power, your originality, what you're naturally good at. The more that you do that, the more that these fresh new ideas are going to come in, and there's going to be more knowledge in general with the book that was next to the angel coin, too, and then the new ideas over here. Now, this can happen either within the home or about a home or something about home, and what is home, right? It's different for everybody, but that's really cool. I just wanted to make sure I looked under there to see what was going on. Now if we go back here to like more the center, the where we started the reading here, Gemini, I want to see if there's anything underneath it now. No, there's everything that I pretty much thought was there. I just wanted to kind of double check. So hold on a second, because we still have to talk about that baby and the seashell. I just want to put this, for the most part, back the way it was. Okay. So, when I was shaking your charms, when I shake it in the bowl, and that's my way of shuffling the cards, like I say, I did feel a lot of the energy was kind of going this way, and I don't know when my eyes are closed which quadrants are what and where things are, and if it's all the way over here or there, but it does feel like majority of what's going on in your world here in April for this general reading, Gemini, is like a lot of stuff in the body mental, more really in the spiritual unconscious in the body mental, some stuff definitely going on in work and money, and then very little in relationships and love. And that's okay, right? But it's just different. It's interesting the way that each reading is different. So we do have one over here that was kind of hard to see. We got the broom here, and then we of course have the baby charm and one of the other seashells. Okay, I'm just so you can see. So the broom talks about clearing something here. I know we had the clearing over here in the spiritual unconscious that was talking about clearing some type of masculine energy that could be in a family or with the family, right? And maybe that had something to do with some type of irresponsibility or some no that someone got, or multiple people with general environment situation got from a masculine energy. If we also look at the masculine symbol here, it's kind of pointing right towards the relationship love quadrant too. So if there is some clearing that needs to happen, and this can be platonic relationships, not just love, romantic love, and it can be self-love, but perhaps there's something about either listening to children, okay, because when we have the seashell, sorry, let me turn that down. When we have the seashell, it is about listening. And if it's not to actual physical children, it could be listening to our inner child, or someone needs to listen to their inner child here and see how doing that can affect the different types of relationships that we have in our life, and if there is anything that like needs to be cleared away. So stuff from past hurts in our inner child, or past wants that we need to address, or whatever it is, right? So there's not like too much, but also the big thing here too to remember, Gemini, is that the majority of your lucky rabbit's foot this time is in the relationship and love quadrant. So it's just saying maybe just listen a little bit here to some children, or listen a little bit here to the inner child, and remember to do your clearing. But for the most part, it's like the other areas of life are more demanding attention from you. So I feel like this is a good energy here, okay, for the most part. So yeah, I think we pretty much talked about everything there, Gemini. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we did. So let me just put the camera back here for a second. And just was going to let you know that I will be posting that one picture that I took of all of your charms and bones. And it'll just be on Facebook after this live is done, in case you want to check it out. It'll just be one of the comments under the video if that's something that you're interested in. All you have to do is go to my Facebook page, Malessea Magic Light, and then it'll be there. But yeah, that is pretty much what I have for you, dear Gemini. I hope you enjoy this time period, and always feel free to let me know in the comments down below on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever, if you feel guided and want to let me know if any of this resonated for you. I appreciate that if you feel guided. All right. But let's go ahead here and switch over now to Cancer. Okay. So what we're going to do is put everything back and do another quick little sound bell. Maybe light a little incense, just clear the energy of the previous reading before we tap into the Cancer energy. All right. So thank you guys, and hope everyone's all right. Hanging in there during this first Mercury retrograde of the year and the eclipse that we have coming up on Monday, on the 8th. Doesn't always have to be all bad, doom and gloom, right? But it can be more on the intense side. So I know I talked about that in my astro notes or astrology notes too. And if you follow any of this kind of stuff, you probably already know. A lot of people have been talking about it because I think it's the first time we've had that type of eclipse in like 273 years or something like that. So it should be interesting. But don't be scared is all I'm saying. Okay. Just with love. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these for a little bit. Put a crystal on it too. Yeah. And again, kind of let go of the Gemini energy and tap into the Cancer energy. I just got fuzz all over me. Okay. So let's do a little incense first. I was having trouble keeping this lit the other day, so I don't know if it's like just a dud or if it was like really dry that day. It seems okay right now, so yay. All right. We just need a little bit. Smoke is one way you can clear energy as well, but if you can't do smoke, you can do just intention or sound healing or music, whatever feels right. All right. Stay. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do a little sound bell here to tap into the energy of Cancer for April. It's good also for me to check in with my guides too again, for you if you feel guided to take a couple of deep breaths or just listen, all that good stuff, and to heal any previous energy from the other reading and to clear it. All right. So this is going to be for Cancer for April 2024. I think that was a good one. I'll just leave that kind of over there. I'm going to get a sip of water here too. All right. So when I shake the bones and charms, it does make a little bit of noise, so just bear with me. But it's my way of doing some shuffling. All right, so thank you guys. Spirits, please guide my hands. Messages for water sign Cancer the crab for April 2024. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for water sign Cancer the crab for April 2024. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest good? Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer the crab for April 2024. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Spirits, guide my hands in love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Thank you for all advice, wisdom, and guidance given. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for water sign Cancer the crab for April 2024. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest good? Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer the crab for April 2024. Cancer. Cancer. Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer for April. Cancer. Messages for Cancer for April 2024. Messages for Cancer. Messages for Cancer for April 2024. Messages for Cancer for April 2024. All right. Let's put that over there. I'm going to flip some of the charms quickly that need to be flipped over just before we take our picture without disturbing too much, if I can. Okay, just like that. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the ones I'm going to flip over because all these in here, there's too much going on. So, sorry, let me turn this down. So if I do that, I'll do it as we go through the reading because I don't want to mess them up. Okay, so let's go ahead at this point. We'll take the picture before I forget, and then we'll get started. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and hover my hands over the bones and charms and see kind of where spirits want me to start. Because for every reading, in a different spot. Okay, so just bear with me for a second. All right. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Spirits, guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands, please. All right, so they kind of want me to start like right here where the baby is. So that is what we will do. Okay. Talk about the quadrants real quickly. I am using a mat this time. You don't have to use a mat when you're casting different things. I just thought it'd be easier for you guys to kind of see and to switch it up a little bit where the things fall without me just intuitively telling you. But yeah, you can always let me know in the comments down below on all the different platforms if you like it with the mat or you like it without it, whatever. All right. Always open for feedback. So let's see here. So the spirit wants us to start here, Cancer, with the baby. Okay. So that was interesting as far as the Gemini read. They also had a baby in this quadrant. Different reading, of course, but it's just always interesting to see, when that happens. So a lot of times, depending on where you have Cancer in your chart, or any sign really, your main sun sign, let's say your sun sign Cancer, you're going to have a lot of stuff in your chart that is Gemini and that is also Leo. So there can be some crossovers there, but it doesn't have to be. Anyway, when we talk about, and let me take the camera off now too so you guys can see the bones and the charms more up close in detail. Forgot to do that, so hold on 1 second here. Come around. All the wires here. Okay. But yeah, what I was starting to say was that when we talk about the baby, okay, there we go, it's focused now. The baby can talk about actual physical children or like a youthful energy in our life in some way. Or it can also be a symbol for our inner child, right? But the first thing, this is where Spirit wanted to start. So we have this baby that is leaning against the first raccoon penis bone that we have in your reading here, Cancer, okay? And so this raccoon penis bone, it can be a symbol for masculine energy, of course, but also, I mean, not of course, because we all have masculine and feminine inside, but it can also be of a metaphor for doing things in a more aggressive way. I'm just moving this out of the way for a second. In the 3D physical world, it can be something about this as well. But it's interesting here, Cancer, because you have the rope up here, which just talks about endings and new beginnings, and it almost looks like it could be like a little crown if it had been touching the baby's head, but it's just kind of like in between here. So there could be something about an ending, new beginning with some type of masculine energy. It could be a Leo or have something to do with Leo in their chart or your chart or during Leo season of this year, of last year, or next year, since all the readings I do are timeless. But if it has nothing to do with the astrology or zodiac sign Leo, it could be like the general characteristics of having more courage, passion, creativity, and kind of standing up for stuff we believe in too. So because this again falls in your relationships and love area, it can be platonic relationships as well, not just romantic and even self-love, but there's the transformation going on here because we have the butterfly up in this part of the quadrant, and then over here we have the dog ankle bone, and it's actually like right on the love word there. So it's like maybe throughout the month on someone's side or multiple people's side or general environment situation, maybe there needs to be more flexibility, because our bones support us, but they also have to move with us, right? So when we think of the ankle bone in particular, it's moving with our feet. Okay, so there's could be something here in the past, Cancer, about listening or needing to listen to be more flexible, either in love or with love, whatever love means for you, or relationships, right? Because again, there is some type of ending, new beginning here, but also a beautiful strength and transformation happening as well. Um, Now, I also see up here, Cancer. I'm sorry if I said Gemini. Hopefully I said Cancer, but yes, this is a Cancer reading. um, we also have the tail end of the fork, of the scissors, and part of the um, handcuffs here. Okay, so this could be talking about here, Cancer. Um, what is our relationship diet and love diet? Like, what do we listen to? What do we digest as far as our relationships? Does there need to be anything here that needs to be cut away? And where can we find our freedom within that? Because all of these things are half laying on the money and the work quadrant on the mat. It could be that they both relate to like the relationships and the love. So cutting away certain things to bring in more freedom, or what does freedom mean when we have within work and money, and how does that relate to my relationships and to love? And if we're talking about diet, is it a spiritual diet, mental diet, physical diet? Like, what are we digesting, ingesting, all of those kinds of things to kind of think about. Now, sorry, let me turn this down. Oh, wrong way. Okay, commercials. Here, I see, Cancer, that there is. I'm trying to figure out which way they want me to go. But let's not forget, let's put this back here, right? Also, kind of similar to Gemini's, is that um, the lucky rabbit's foot is mostly in the relationship and love quadrant. I mean, it's almost a little bit in every quadrant. It's also in the body mental, the head part, or this part of the lucky rabbit's foot is there. It's also a little bit in the work and money, and then the spiritual unconscious quadrant is almost on all the quadrants. But the one quadrant that it's in the most is the relationships and love area. So, besides those few little things that we mentioned, maybe that's like one area of your life or someone's life or the general environment, um, that is going well, okay, during the month of April. Okay, so just think about that too. All right, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit so I can see what's going on here too. Because, like, I guess I'm going to go this way and then kind of like up and back around. But yeah, I see here, Cancer, that we've got your buckeye, okay, right in this the center of your body mind quadrant, okay. So that's really cool to see. A buckeye can represent money, but it's also forms of abundance. So because it's in the body and mental, it could be like, what do we want to manifest within our body, our health, our body health, and our mental health, okay? It could be that in the past here, Cancer, there was perhaps, some stagnant energy with some type of irresponsibility energy. And maybe it had more to do with memories of the past about how to treat our body and how to treat our mental health with the elephant here. It could also have something to do about something within the home or with the home with the chair here, okay? But I feel like that this is being cleared because you've got the broom on top here, Gemini. I'm sorry, not Gemini, Cancer, wrong Cancer. The broom here on top, Cancer, and then it's also, attached to Pegasus. Okay, and underneath Pegasus is the dragonfly. So it's like this is your spiritual unconscious quadrant. So it's like clearing away any past memories or memories of stagnant energy, being irresponsible with the body health and the mental health, and clearing that away. You also have the leaf symbol here, another clearing symbol. So it's like double clearing and having more freedom with our dreams and like what we want to manifest in our life. I also see here, Cancer, that your spiritual team is like real strong in the unconscious, conscious quadrant with the skeleton hand being right here and your coffin. So they also perhaps want you to slow down here with some of the things that you've been longing for. It could have something to do with the home or within the home with the turtle here, but they're like, slow down because the answers are right there too with the key there. Okay, so that's really beautiful. Um, Now, your spiritual team, ancestors, past on loved ones, friends, guardian angels, they could also be saying here, Cancer, that there is um, something to do with your happiness and following your North Star and having some type of knowledge from your subconscious spiritual side that can perhaps actually bring you money that you may not realize or bring someone else money. Okay. So always, trust your intuition and really usually we don't associate the spiritual unconscious with like making money, but if there's something that you understand within those areas or themes that you can help others to understand, maybe you can make some extra side money. You never know. Okay. Um, Now, I also see here, Cancer, that, throughout the month, we have your first skull right here, and it is in, again, the spiritual unconscious quadrant. It's right touching the seahorse, it's touching the safety pin, it's touching um, one of the human teeth bones, and it's also touching the honeybee. Okay, so here we see, Cancer, that throughout the month you or someone else is thinking a lot about family, and it doesn't have to just be our blood family. It can be our tribe, whoever we hang with, right? Thinking a lot about safety, thinking about a lot about personal power and how following what we're good at and tapping into our personal power and serving a team, but also being unique, how that can affect also our money and work areas because it's crossing from spiritual and conscious quadrant to half being in the work and money area. I also see you here, Cancer, thinking a lot about something to do with romantic love and emotions because the tooth that's attached to the head is also sitting on top of the cupid that is pointing to the emotions charm here too. So there could be something here that you need to listen to here as far as some type of masculine energy here, Cancer, because you had the coyote penis bone underneath the seashell, and the seashell was like half in the quadrant of spiritual unconscious and half in the quadrant of work and money. So perhaps listening to some type of masculine energy that can help you in the work and money department, that maybe comes from the spiritual side or comes from some kind of unconscious side, or yeah, I don't know, it'll be different for everybody, but it feels like the more that you do that or someone else does that here, Cancer, it can bring again a lot of like yes energy from the universe, your spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, etc., whatever you want to call it. So it's like this star energy, this following your North Star energy. It starts to, things are starting to make sense here, and then on the spiritual side, Cancer. I want to see if there's anything under this coin real quickly. Yeah, we got a few things. Okay, so under the yes coin here, we've got the symbol for Sagittarius. We have the question mark. So there could be some questions either with a Sagittarius, or during Sagittarius season of this year, of last year, of next year, or Sagittarius in your chart or someone else's chart, or it has nothing to do with Sagittarius astrology or zodiac sign. It could be just also there's questions here from the spiritual unconscious side of life that are asking, like, what are your plans, goals, and aspirations for the future, and what are your questions about those things as well. Okay, so I'm trying to put it back the way it was here, real gentle. And it's like asking those questions maybe, and doing it like when you take a deep breath here. So not getting stressed out with those questions, okay, with the snake rib bone here. So just remember to breathe with those questions, because they are kind of heavy questions, right? But it's like the pieces of the puzzle are, coming together here, Cancer. And this is something you've been thinking about or chewing, digesting over for a while with the human teeth bone here. Again, about your individual power and not caring what other people think as far as what you're good at, what you were born to do, certain gifts and talents. There could be some type of letter or message document that happens here during the month of April, Cancer, that comes from your subconscious or someone else's subconscious or the spiritual side of things. It could be more of a masculine energy, since we have the symbol for masculine energy right there. But it's really about also throughout the month listening to your abundance. So you've got the nutmeg here and the listening bells above it. So I feel that you've been doing this already for a while because of all these things around your head here, and also your other skull and head. There's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I feel like the first kind of 3 quadrants that we've talked about have been like pretty interesting and pretty good so far. Okay, so let's keep going though and see what else we have in your last quadrant here, because there's quite a lot in the last one here. So I'm just going to lift this up and move it a little bit, move it over there. So Cancer, first over here, okay, and again, this is you can't see it, but this is your money and work quadrant. There could be something going on in your environment with somebody who's a higher up, or you're a higher up in some kind of position or authority of power, or somebody with a certain amount of confidence that is perhaps in the recent past made work more challenging. We got Capricorn, symbol for Capricorn here, Capricorn energy. They're known as hard workers, so it makes sense it would fall in this quadrant too. If it has nothing to do with an actual Capricorn or during Capricorn season, or Capricorn in your chart or someone else's, the general characteristics of Capricorn. So always climbing up the mountain. If you fall down, you get up, you climb up again and again and again. Okay, so if there is, some type of challenges with someone in a position of authority or certain level of confidence, or if that's you and you're still having challenges, at work, maybe in the recent past a little bit, just know that there is good luck on it. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna turn that down. And you might not feel it like right away, but it's coming. Okay. Now I see here with your second raccoon penis bone of the reading, there's a lot of striving for and manifesting, like in the 3D physical world. Sorry, there's one of my hairs in there. That this striving and manifesting in the 3D physical world is like so strong here, right? Again, this is like your quadrant in the reading, Cancer, that has like the most stuff going on. Okay, not that the other areas didn't have stuff, but this is like where a majority of it kind of came out. So I'm just going to have to move some stuff to see what's really going on here. But before I do that, actually, let me say that Cancer, whatever this manifesting is, all these different things within the work and money sphere, it goes right in your turkey wishbone as well. Okay, so this is your turkey. This is your, sorry, this is your raccoon penis bone, and this is your turkey wishbone here. Okay, so there's a bunch of charms on top, so you might not be able to see the second part, but it is there. So I feel like this is something that you really have been wishing for a long time and striving for. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this out the way so we can see better. I see here, Cancer, that it's about how can I get my subsistence with the fish here, my prosperity in work and money, and how can I do that with my individual power and still have the freedom to either drop my anchor or lift it? How can I do that and still listen to the feminine energy with the seashells here and striving? How can I do that and still have good luck with the ladybug and the horseshoe? How can I do all those things and still have all this shit going on but a peaceful energy? Okay, because we have the peace doves on top of the angel coin, and that's your second skull as well. Okay, it's showing us where your head is at, or someone's head. Perhaps here, Cancer, and this is a good thing, I think, is that with the Pisces symbol, the twin fish sitting on top of the clouds, it could be that during Pisces season or with a Pisces or whatever, there could have been more confusion, but we've been in Aries season now since, was it March 19th? Okay, until April, April 20th. Hold on, let me look. My thing is right here. I think it's April 20th. April 19th. Okay, close enough. Then we switch to Taurus. But it's like leaving behind whatever that possible confusion and cloudiness was during Pisces season or with a Pisces again. If it has nothing to do with Pisces or Pisces season or Pisces in your chart, their chart, it could also be just learning to like, it's gonna be different for everybody. It could be going with the flow at work and with the money caused more confusion, or it's the opposite way. So going with the flow caused less confusion. We'll know more as we go through this part here. I do see that there is, some type of feminine energy here, Cancer. It could be within a team at work, right? Since we're on the work quadrant with the bat here and the feminine symbol. Feminine team member or someone who has a lot of feminine energy within the team. They could also be a teacher, mentor, a guide, or you are. But it's like going over the emotional details about these things that we're wishing for within the work and with the money, and how that may relate to traveling and or modes of transportation here. How that also can relate to our responsibilities. So underneath on this side, I'm trying to push it out, the turkey wishbone, we had the symbol for Saturn. Okay, so I'll just put it back to where it was, more like that. It's like I have all these responsibilities and I have the organization, but how can I get these things that I've been wishing for and striving for to work like alongside that energy? And again, throughout the whole year for 2024, all signs are having a lot of astrology placements with Saturn. So Saturn's definitely going to be important this year. Um, but yeah, it's like going over the emotional details here of something to do with travel or modes of transportation and travel, something you've been thinking about and working through a lot. Um, but again, this female, I'm sorry, not female, this feminine, because we all have masculine and feminine, this feminine energy, if it's a team member, a teacher, a guru, a guide with the apple here, um, they could be maybe helping you with these things, um, or as an aspect of yourself. Over here, though, with both of these coyote claws here, it's like striving for all this new ideas and this balance within the workplace or with work or with the money. I also see here Cancer striving for support. Okay, so the alligator claws is pointing to the snake vertebrae. So throughout the month, striving for financial support, striving for support at work or with the work. Let's see what else is underneath it. Beautiful. Okay. So what we have here is the symbol balance scales, Libra energy. We've got the frog. They're both sitting on top of those scissors that we talked about at the beginning of the reading. They're also touching the fork. They're also touching the handcuffs. They're also touching the ship and the lizard here and the witch. Okay. And I know that there's some stuff under that coin we'll get to in a second. I like this here, Cancer, because it's like some type of leap of faith here that you've been thinking a lot about, or someone's been thinking a lot about. This is going to bring more balance and more justice if it has anything to do with a court case or with money and work in a court case or justice system. It feels like it's good. Okay, if it is related to those things, it doesn't have to be. um there's a beautiful peaceful energy. Okay, so you've got the angel coin and then the doves on top of the angel coin, so it's like higher beings, higher vibrations are protecting this leap of faith and this getting this balance again and getting back to healing, getting back to travel perhaps, or healing with water. That makes sense. Cancer, you're a water sign, right? Healing with travel, either with the friend or healing in the water with a friend. I don't know. I like this here. It's really beautiful. So again, I feel like these things that we talked about cutting away in the relationship love part quadrant, whether it's platonic or romantic relationships, etc., and how that affects our diet and our freedom, our mental diet, spiritual diet, physical diet, all the diets, right? It's a good thing. Let me just move this over and see what's under it. Okay, so we just have the coyote penis bone on the side here, or half underneath it. Okay, I'm trying to put it back the way it was for the most part. So this is like anytime we have the penis bones from whatever animal, right? It can represent masculine energy, of course, represent the 3D physical world sometimes, but it can also be a metaphor for planting seeds for the future. Okay, so it's like your higher vibrational beings, your ancestors, your angels, these peace doves, they want to help you make this type of leap of faith and have more justice and more balance with the things that you're manifesting and clearing away maybe older stuff with work and money that and relationship stuff that doesn't need to be there anymore. Okay? Because it's like good stuff is coming. I really like this reading here for you, Cancer. Um, I'm just gonna like move some of this back the way it was. Let me pull all the way back here and kind of look down again. Um, yeah, I think that, hopefully some people will let me know what this part is as far as within the work and the money, the feminine, either team member or person who has a lot of feminine energy at work or with the money. Um, what that means for you as far as all this good luck and freedom and clearing away, the clouds. Um, I think it was like that somehow. I can't remember now, but yeah, something like that. But yeah, so far this looks like a really beautiful reading here, Cancer, and that's pretty much what I'm getting for you. You didn't have too much that fell outside of the mat except that one seashell over here, and then your listening bells and a little bit of your nutmeg, but everything else was pretty much like in the mat. All right. But yes, this is what we have for you. When I say we, it's me in spirit. So always feel free to let me know how it may play out for you if you feel guided. And thank you guys so much, as always, for your patience and your energy, for your views, your likes, your subscriptions, all those good things. I just wanted to put the camera back while I said bye. So yeah, thank you guys as always. I'm going to take a little bit of break here, and then we will Spirit and I will be back with Leo and Virgo. All right. So you guys take care, and I will see you later. And if you want to see the photo again, all you have to do is go to Facebook and go to Malessea's Magic Light. And then when you see this video, it'll be one of the comments there if you want to check it out. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.